Okay guys, welcome to the helper for question number 5 on your Cpctc worksheet. Now you can see I've already started by setting up my statement reason again. Okay, it is always going to be there. Okay, please make sure yours is ready. Remember, you can stop the video at any time to make sure your diagram looks the same, okay, or to make sure that you've got time to keep up with what's happening. Now again, I'm going to work with my diagram first. Okay, it's the most important part of our proof because it sets up what we know. Our diagram here tells us that AE is congruent to BE. Alright, so I'm just going to mark those on there. Now they don't look like they're congruent, but again, geometry diagrams aren't to scale. Okay, so they definitely are because we've been told that they are. Our second piece of information is DE is congruent to CE. So I'm going to put 2 lines on there. Now, I need to go looking for a third piece of information. Because we're setting out to do a proof, it's really tempting for me to try and use side, side, side and say that AD is congruent to BC, but I can't prove that. So what I need to look for is an angle that I can prove. Now, it's also tempting for me to go, well, these lines are parallel, I want to use alternate. Okay, but I can't because, again, I'm making an assumption. The only ones I can prove for sure is that this angle in the middle is congruent to this angle here because they're vertical angles. Now I've got enough to prove congruence. Okay, and if I can prove congruence, I can then move on to proving this. Okay, you will always prove congruence first. So let's start the actual written part of our proof. Let's put our givens in. So AE is congruent to BE. Alright, that was given. Let's make sure our second given's in there as well. DE is congruent to CE. That was also a given. So the only piece of information that we worked out was that angle AED was congruent to angle. Okay, and because I went AED, I'm going to go BEC. That way it's in the same order. It's good practice when I write my triangle congruence. And that was because they were vertical angles. And they are congruent. Now, I have enough there to say that my triangles are congruent. So I can actually use, because I already went in order, I can say triangle AED is congruent to triangle BEC. Okay, I know that way all my angles match up and all my sides match up. And we had side, angle, side. Right, that's a perfect proof of triangle congruence. Now, if you got this far, you've already made great progress. So our last step was just to prove that D is congruent to C. Because we've proven congruent triangles, we know if those pieces match up, they have to be congruent. So let's just make the statement. D is congruent to angle C. Now, reason here, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent.